Here's a couple more Graveleys that I recently picked up last week. And to start out with, this one is kind of a mutt tractor. It's got a transmission, oil bath air cleaner from the 50s, and the engine I think is from the mid 60s. It's 6.6 horse. It does roll over. It's got the starter clutch on it, no starter but a good button. The clutch is a bit sticky at times. It rolls back, and then when you get at the right spot it locks in right there. So it's going to need some work. It's got a really good carburetor on it, which got the attachment clutch control, and this one's good for parts for this one because I need the jug off here. Hopefully it's good. Now this one I picked up, it's got the governor on it. I think it's an older Pierce because it doesn't have a tag. Everything's embossed on the side of the thing there. Actually, it has a tag. Can't really see it though. It's got the electric starter clutch on it. I have the starter for it up in the front. Good gas tank. But have a look at the model. It's an LS, so the harder to find models. And I forgot the year on there, so I'll probably post it in the description. And this one, it's in fairly decent condition. The oil pressure gauge is junk on it. Needs an air cleaner. Starter needs brushes. And the jug needs to be replaced. And here's the problem. There is a crack running right across the top of it. You can kind of see it. It's right there. And then it splits down from there. And it's just kind of puffing out the crack, all the compression. So someone probably used too much starting fluid on this at one point, and the back of the jug gave way. So I got the head off this one here, and it looks alright, and none of the valves were stuck open, which is still kind of odd why I wasn't getting really any compression, but unless there's a lot of carbon on the seats and they're just not seating real well. And the head gasket didn't look all that good either, like it wasn't really seating that good. And I think this is a 7.6 horse jug in disguise with a 6.6 horse head, because you can see, I mean, from pictures I've seen online, this is all flat around here and it's not embossed down or molded or whatever you want to call it down, whereas this one is right here. You can see how, you know, you get a little bit of difference there. So this one's been bored 15 thousandths over, which is kind of nice, and the piston seems fairly tight. It's actually got a little bit of wiggle, but might be alright. And this one I just cleaned up, and this is an STD piston, so it has not been changed. Well, the jugs are now off, and also the valve covers are solid, and they look like they're cast iron probably. And you see they don't split. They go all the way, so the lifters and the covers are all one piece, which I thought was kind of neat. And this piston, you can see, I don't know, it looks like it's got a bunch of blow-by there. Maybe it just needs to be cleaned up, hopefully. The piston for that one actually looks really good. And that might be getting used in another tractor. It doesn't look like it's got really any blow-by, hopefully, so that's pretty good. And once again, these lifters are the solid ones with the covers, all one piece cast, and the inside looks pretty good. So I'm going to get this cleaned up. Well, I got my piston all cleaned up here. A little bit of wire brushing and some steel wool did a pretty decent job. The rings are all freed up again. Sprayed it down with some brake cleaner. Still has some junk in the bottom, but I really can't get it out. And seems like it cleaned up alright. You can see it might have blow-by in a couple of spots, but you know, like I said, we'll have to see how it goes. Well, I skipped kind of far ahead here just to kind of cut down on video time. I got the jug on and everything. The piston went in real nice, and I set the rings and all that, oiled it up, slid it on there, and everything went together really nice. Everything's nice and tight. New gaskets on there and everything. Rolled it over, has really good compression. So that should be all set. Got the fan shroud, gas tank, carburetor, handlebars, those are all back on. I'm not going to put the governor back on because I was looking at it when I first took it off. It is a little worn, it's got some play in it, and it's probably out of grease or oil. So I don't want to ruin that, and someone's had the play off too because they brazed it back on. So I want to work on that, make sure it doesn't get wrecked, and for now I'll just run the throttle cable right over to the bell crank here, and I just won't run it at a real high throttle, that's all. And I still have to tighten up the belt, but for now that's alright, just to test run it, make sure it's all set. So last thing to do, I just got to bring the carburetor down to the garage there and clean it up, get that back on, I'll be ready to fire it up. Alright, we're all back together, got the plug in, carburetor's all clean, rolled it over, it's got great spark, so just got to clean up some of this mess all over the floor and we'll roll it out, see if she'll fire. Got to keep your hubs tight, folks. This one was loose on this side for the longest time and it wore in pretty good. The edge of that comes almost right up to there, probably about that close, so it's pretty worn in the keyway. Is worn in. It's been doing that for a while. So I can replace that after I get this running. I have more hubs than keyways, but just wanted to say, make sure you got your hubs tight and they don't come loose. Well, there you have it, folks. The LS runs.